American Business Alliance, and it was about a year and a half ago. Then we were sitting in my house and we were enjoying a couple of adult beverages, and we were just shooting some spit in the air and seeing what's happening. We talked about how interdependent both countries are between Canada and the U.S. There's a lot of trade. We get lumber from Canada. We send our orange juice up there, and there are so many industries which are pretty much interdependent. There's a lot of trade, trucking. A lot of trucks come from Canada. We send a lot of trucks over to Canada. Movement of goods. So when we were talking about this, we said, well, how can we expand and grow our businesses? It's a border, yeah, but it's not a big border. It's not an impervious border. How can we grow our businesses across the borderline? And so we started talking, and then he introduced me to North American Business Alliance. He's like, well, we have this organization, North American Business Alliance. Why don't we talk about this a little bit more? Which was my revelation to the North American Business Alliance. So when we started talking, we said, well, let's go ahead and start join hands and create this business alliance, a part of it in Canada, and then part of it in the U.S. So that's the story of me and Avi. So if you don't know me, I'm Rocky Singh. I'm the president and CEO of the Premier Development. We have real estate development in the state of Indiana and Florida with projects from Greenwood, downtown Indianapolis, Westfield, Crawfordsville, Frankfurt. So we have in Kokomo. We have done this for the last 20. I've done this for the last 20 years in the state of Indiana. I do have a few key members from my team that I want to make sure that I get to introduce to you. I have Mr. Watson. Mr. Watson there, you can say hello. So Roger Watson serves as the president of the Midwest Builders Group, and he juggles multiple construction projects at the same time, so I'm very thankful. And Mike Lewis is here. He serves as the president of the Custom Container Builders, very unique product. We build structures out of these shipping containers. And we are building the first hotel on Mona and 38th Street, downtown Indianapolis, out of shipping containers. So it will be a spectacle that people will come from across the country to see the first shipping container hotel in America. So Mike, I couldn't work without Killa. Killa Pill is the attorney, the extraordinaire, and my brother Jaspreet, where he is sitting. But thanks for joining. This is the core team. I rely upon them every day, so I appreciate it. I do want to recognize our guest of honors, Mayor Finkham. Thank you so much for coming. She is the honorable mayor and serves the city in a great capacity. She has taken over a long legacy and continued to grow the city of Carmel. If you didn't know, for the visitor, Carmel has been voted the #1 city in America to live in because of for the last 5 years in a row. So, thank you. And Mayor Moore, and we go a long way back together. Mayor, I couldn't do a lot of things. Mayor was instrumental in one of my projects. We are doing a hub district in Kokomo. It's a $120 million mixed-use project with hotel, apartments, houses, retail, and Mayor and Wes were instrumental in getting that project started for us. So thank you, Mayor. I do want to recognize our North American Business Alliance executive team. So if you are part of the executive, could you please stand up and get recognized? I know there are people. Avi, could you get everyone who is part of the NABA exec?
Dr. Rocky, some of the North American Business Alliance organizers, they were not able to make it because president of the North American Business Alliance, Lakbir Sani, he booked a flight yesterday, then he got pulled over for secondary. He missed the flight, and he did it again in the morning. He got pulled again for the secondary, then he missed the flight again. Then he said that next time he'll make it. So,
yeah. So now you see why North American Business Alliance.
Right now, the federal government is shut down in Washington, so they have very little human resources, and there's a big lineup at the airport, especially coming from Canada. Maybe every line is like 300-400 people in front of you before you go to the immigration. So also a lot of people were not able to make it. But still, I would like to thank all the Canadian businessmen who came here at very short notice. And some of them drove all night. Some of them, like Dr. Parminder Singh, he left in the morning, 5 a.m. He made it. Some people, like I think around 20, 30 people missed the event.
That's one of the reasons that North American Business Alliance exists, that we want to create some cross-border cooperation and partnerships. There are a few other people I just want to recognize in the audience who have made a big effort to come here. JP from Chicago. JP, thank you, and your team. And Dr. Clara. JP runs a big real estate business empire out of Chicago, which extends from California to New York. We have Mr. Bharat Patel, and there more you know Mr. Patel very well. He's the president of the Sun Companies, again, $1.5 billion portfolio from New York to Rockies. I know you don't want to go to California, but that's fine. And then from Michigan all the way down to Florida, he's got properties over here. Then Sid, thanks for coming. Sid is running for the 40th district for the state. We wish you all the best. And everyone else, so thank you for coming here. So North American Business Alliance did have an event in Toronto where Mike Ballard, and we'll talk about Mike a little bit more, and me and member of the parliament, ex-member of the parliament, Ruby Dalla were asked to talk, and I think the theme there was we need a vision to improve this cross-border cooperation, and how do we get to that point that we can expand our businesses across the border from North to America and America into Canada. And there was an opportunity for Mike to talk about what he has been doing in Texas, and Ruby to talk about how the Canadian government and Canadian are wanting to have this partnership in the U.S. side. As you know, President Trump is very passionate about trade being equitable and fair trade, and I think that those are the negotiations that he's been having recently around how do we make those trade the barriers, like for example, he was talking about the barrier to entry for Harley-Davidson to go into India, because they have 200% tariff, if you didn't know that. If you want to buy a Harley-Davidson in India, you have to pay 200% tariff. And how do we get around those types of markups and make the trade more equitable? So we are today at this crossroads where we need some mutual cooperation, and then we need to capitalize on the opportunities that we have in front of us in trade and in improving the business. So I want to talk a little bit about the North American Business Alliance vision, what we are here for, and what we want to achieve. We do want to take on this trade and business opportunity head on. We want to change this into an opportunity for all of us. Like, there are people from Canadian side, people from Michigan, people from Chicago, people from Indiana. How do the business and Texas? Then how do we all kind of bring this together? There's going to be opportunities for investment and growth in both sides of the border. How do we capitalize on that? And then the big part is how. How is this room? What we are trying to do is try to bring really good high net worth people, bring them together for common vision and common goals, and leveraging each other's strengths and their experiences. People have experience in finance and construction, in trade and trucking, and how do we bring all that together? We also want to capitalize on some of our public-private partnerships that we can create with the cities and make them more attractive for investment and let people grow. And Mayor and I were talking about some funds earlier, but I will let you talk about those. But those are the goals. And lastly, I think we want to grow our footprint in our representation in politics, and also make sure that we are doing our fair share in philanthropy and making sure that if we are growing, we're also helping people who are less fortunate. So those are the key visions for the North American Business Alliance, and I hope you all can join and then promote this and make it continue to grow into the future. For that, I'm going to invite Mayor Pinkham to come out and say a few words.
So, who was the gentleman that set up this? So I'm going to rock your world, because I'm going to have you move that because I'm going to move over here because I can't see my slides.
I got you.
So it's all about being fluid and flexible in business, correct? We're going to practice that tonight.
You go ahead, Bear.
All right, thank you.
I know a lot of you already. I had been so blessed to be in front of this group for a number of years, and I have been very blessed. I do have construction projects all over the United States, and we've had a great run at it, and my son at the time is taking over the company. So I think there's something to giving it over to the next generations, and it's something that's very difficult to do because we're so used to being in the limelight and making all the deals every day, and it's really a great opportunity to do them. But then at some point in our lives, we say, you know what? We need to do something for other people. And I think those blessings is what happens to each and every one of us here. But I look at this group assembled, and I look at the business opportunities you have here, and I thought, why are we all here? We came for a reason, and we all are great friends, and we know each other. I met Avi a number of years ago, Rocky, and I may have even been at the meeting that kind of started this thing. But I may have had more spirits than they did. I don't know the answer to that. But we had a great time that evening, but we had a lot of business up to go through. And I thought, if we have an opportunity here, we have people from builders such as me, we have real estate, we have transportation, we have investments. I talked to one of my friends tonight who's got a company starting in India, and he told me that he was going to think about going public, and I said, oh my gosh, when you go public, you call me because I want in on that deal. Because all of us in this room look for a deal. I mean, that's what we do as businessmen. And we've all been blessed enough to make a little money to make another deal somewhere else. And the more deals that we have out there that are viable and that people can help us with those investments, then I think it's an opportunity for us to continue growing as a North American Business Alliance. But it's also an opportunity for us to develop our friendships and be able to do those things accordingly. So if I had to say one thing this evening, take the opportunity to meet somebody you don't know. And I thought about this before I came up here, but not a whole lot. I'm gonna ask a show of hands on some stuff, and I know all of y'all pretty well, but so I only ask this because I need for y'all to look at the different people that are in this room that you may not know. I think Canada right now is going through some tough times economically. And it could be because the businesses were stolen by where we've got here, but we're not going to go down there right now. I did see the Chrysler plant shut down not too long ago, but I do think there's an opportunity for each and every one of us to develop and collaborate the businesses that we have here. I am in a transportation industry because that's what I normally build, is the transportation industry. So I think if you look at the transportation men that are here today, we have some from America, we have some from Canada. So I want y'all to kind of get together today. I don't know how it could come to a business relationship, but somehow I think we're here to help each other. That is the reason we put here tonight. It wasn't to come and have drinks, which is a great time, with great friends, get to hear great speakers, but it's to help each and every one of us here from 2 different countries to be able to put a business plan together that we can continue to make money, but I do know each and every one of you here that we can continue to give to others that need it as well. So I look at, if we help others to accomplish their dreams, we'll accomplish our successes. And I think that's what we're looking for.
We have one other special guest, Dr. Pravindra from Toronto, so representing North American Business Alliance. He's the owner of Think Research Corporation, and he's a true cross-border entrepreneur with surgery centers in Canada and New York. So Dr. Pravindra, please share a couple of words.
Thank you, Rocky, and thank you, honorable mayors, for being here, and all the guests from Canada who either had trouble at the border or found a way to get here either way. I hate to be the last speaker between you and the meal tonight, so I'm going to keep it very short. Yes, I was the founder of Hockey Night in Canada Punjabi, which thank you. And yes, I'm missing the Blue Jays game to be here because I had promised Abby before I knew what the Blue Jays schedule was. Yes, we're going to Chicago Blackhawks game tomorrow evening. But last but not least, and I think just to follow the wonderful speaker prior to me, is one thing I do want to share, which is something which is so near and dear to me in my heart, and being a Sikh, that which is Sarvat Dapala. The reason I mention that, Sarvat Dapala, which literally translates to prospers, or everyone prospers together, blessings for all. And as businessmen, we have ample amount of opportunity to make a lot of money. I had the pleasure of meeting a person who I didn't have a conversation with before, Mr. Goldie, and he just mentioned an app that he's working on. And that blew my mind. And that app that he's working on is not just about what he has done. He's made a lot of money in other aspects, but he's helping those who need the help today. And so I told him, I'm like, regardless of all the wonderful people that I meet, my soul is fulfilled by hearing about his app idea on how he is helping the underserviced, the impoverished of those who need the help. So today I just want to say from the medical side, this is so wonderful. I seriously thought when I heard I'm going to Carmel, I thought it was Carmel by the sea. But now I know it's Carmel by the pool with all the stuff that you guys are doing here. And now I know about Kokomo as well. And in hopes, and I know there's a little bit of bitterness in the air, but I think together we can prosper. And yes, Brampton does need help. So all the Brampton businessmen who are here today, this is the meeting of the minds. We are here to help everyone, help our people, but also to make alliances across the border. Thank you for having us. Thank you for our questions.
Thank you. I would like to thank all the businessmen who came all the way down from Toronto or other states, especially from Michigan, Indiana, and Texas. So North American Business Alliance, some of the people were not able to make it. So I would like to thank Mayor Moore, Mayor Sue Fancan, some of the great businessmen, especially came from Toronto, Amar Diol, Mr. Modi, and who want to start the business here. So I believe even though Canadian economy is in a little bit trouble right now, if we work together, so hopefully one day we will be also very strong with the assistance of American businessmen and American politicians. So once again, I would like to thank my family. They supported me to arrange this event, and so maybe Dr. Rocky will do some closing remarks. Hopefully we will get together again soon. Thank you. Good night. Thank you, everyone.